Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe for more K-pop audition information and tips like this. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about categories. So the categories that I'm going to be talking about in this video are singing, dancing, rapping, and visuals. Of course, there are more categories such as modeling, acting, confidence, and other things like that I won't really get into today. I wanted to focus on mainly these four, and I have different questions on what you guys think about these different categories, what your favorite is, and other things like that. So I asked you guys to fill out the form, and about 320 people answered it, and I wanted to film it really fast, so even though there aren't that many responses, I still wanted to make a video on it. So the first question is, what is your personal strongest category? So let's go into the response, and most people choose singing with 43.3% and dancing with 43%, and then rapping would be a 10% and visual with 3%. So most people are definitely more stronger in singing and dancing as expected. I guess since I'm also listing out my opinions, I would have to say my personal strongest, which is dancing, I guess I would say. Let's move on to the next question, which is, what is your personal weakest category? And this one is a lot more split, I guess. So the biggest one would be rapping, which is honestly not that significant. As long as you know how to do dancing and singing, you wouldn't really need to worry about rapping too much unless you want to be a rapper. And then next would be visual with 29.6%, and then singing, and then dancing. So dancing, I guess a lot of people are confident with. My personal weakest would probably be singing visuals. Singing visuals, we'll go with that. And so the next question is, what is your favorite category, the one you enjoy doing the most? And so a lot of people chose dancing, and I agree with them. The one that I prefer doing the most is definitely dancing, and barely anyone chose visual. Like 5 people chose visual. I don't know how you would enjoy doing visual. Maybe you like taking pictures. Yeah, that's plausible. But most people do enjoy doing dancing, and then it's singing and a bit of rapping. So the next question is, what is your least favorite category, the one you least enjoy doing? And so almost half of people said visuals, which honestly, yeah, this question doesn't really fit in with visuals, I guess. Like, how would you do visuals? But I guess people aren't confident about themselves. I guess there could be multiple different answers for this. Maybe they're confident with all 3 of singing, dancing, rapping, so that they chose visual. Let's hope it's that instead of they're unconfident about themselves. Then I asked, what is your favorite category, the one you enjoy watching others do the most? So like when you're just watching idols, I guess, do you usually watch like live singing videos, dance practices, rapping videos? And a lot of people chose dancing. For me personally, I prefer watching others sing, I guess. For me, it's a lot more impressive that people can sing really well and they have a good voice. Dancing obviously is impressive, but I would just say that singing is a lot, not better in a sense, but I kind of like watching others sing. And also with singing, I feel like there's a lot more unique voices rather than unique dance styles. So obviously there's a lot of dancing styles and a lot of different techniques that people use, and you know, every dancer looks different. However, I feel like that can't compare with singing. So yeah, as I said, most people chose dancing, and singing and rapping was like in between, I guess. So the next question, which I think is pretty interesting actually by the responses, is, what is your least favorite category, the ones you least enjoy watching others do? And a whole 52% of you guys said visuals, which I kind of find ironic because, of course, for me too and you guys, we stand them because of their talents, but a lot of people are in it because they're pretty or they're good looking or they're gorgeous or whatever, right? This isn't just with K-pop idols, but also celebrities. Individuals in general enjoy watching people that are talented but also good looking. So I don't know if you guys understood that question as like aegyo maybe, because you don't like watching people do aegyo, which honestly some fans really do like it, which is why it's still existing. Either that or people are just lying to themselves. Because let's be honest, being pretty does give you an advantage, and it does make you a lot more popular, not just for idols but also just celebrities, internet people, TikTokers, YouTubers, Instagrammers, all of that. And so the next most popular vote would be rapping. People said that they don't really enjoy watching people rap, which I honestly think is like, maybe if they had to choose, they would have to go for that. For me, I feel like rapping can be done in such like an almost annoying way sometimes, just sometimes. So maybe that's why it's so high. And also singing too. Some people just have nasally voices, which might be unpleasant to hear. So I guess it really depends on who's singing and how they're singing. But definitely for me, when people are singing with a nasally voice, it's not that pleasant to hear. Obviously, to an extent, it's fine. So I would probably go with rapping, but then also singing as well. So the next two questions are actually really interesting because the polls are divided like almost exactly into half, which I found very fascinating. So the question is, what do you think is the most common category that people choose? And so the vote is very divided into two, with dancing and singing. And so if you were to ask me what the most common category there is, it would probably be singing and dancing. It's honestly very half-half. I would say maybe a little bit more of singing, and here it says that people voted singing a little bit more, which I agree with. I do think that singing is a bit more common than dancing, but then they're also pretty 50-50, so it's not that significant. Just those two I think are the most common ones. And so the next question naturally is, what do you think is the most uncommon category that people choose? And this one is pretty divided too, I guess I would say, with visuals and rapping. I would also agree with this. I would say visual is the most uncommon category. I guess I would say that rather than people auditioning with visual themselves, most companies scout people like just on the street. Oh, I have a really fun story time that I want to share about this too, when I got scouted on the streets. On the streets. That sounds so sad. Actually, it was not in the streets. It was in a book, not a library, like where they sell books, a bookstore. Wow. My lack of brain cells, this is what online school does to people. However, I would say that visual is the most uncommon category. Rapping too, I guess, but also visuals. So if I had to rank them from common to least common, it would be singing, dancing, rapping, and then visuals. Ooh, the responses for this one is also interesting too, because the question is, what do you think is the most important category that companies look for? And this one is split into like three, I guess. So the biggest one with dancing, the next biggest one with singing, and then the third one with visual. This really depends on the company, you know, but in general, I would say that they look for a balance of talents and visuals, honestly. And this one isn't really a direct answer, but there really is no direct answer. But what you also need to consider is that singing, rapping, and dancing, they can all be learned and they can all be trained, practiced, and perfected. However, visuals can't necessarily do the same thing. Of course, you can get plastic surgery, but it won't be the natural same state. Obviously, if you do one too many surgeries, it really shows. And also, it's just different, right? Learning to dance and learning to be a visual is just different. And so a lot of people will ask me, like just in my DMs, and be like, how do you think I can improve my visuals? That's not really a thing. You're just born with your face. Surprise! Surprise, you can't change your face unless you're going to do plastic surgery. And I don't advise you do that before you get into the company. Otherwise, they will not really prefer it. Just because they like to do medical surgeries, or sorry, plastic surgeries in their own company and the way they like it to be. So definitely do not recommend doing that. And so some people will be like, how do I look more Korean? Like, what do you want to do? I don't want to name drop, but be Ollie London? Like, I don't know. How do you look more Korean? If you're already another race or from another country, you can't really look more Korean unless you're trying to do like Korean makeup or something like that, I guess. Still, you can't look Korean with just simply Korean makeup, which, yeah, it just doesn't work like that, okay? It's like you're trying to be another race, especially if you're not like East Asian. It just doesn't work like that, okay? Also, if we just look at it like dancing versus singing, I would say that it's easier to learn dancing when you're a beginner compared to singing. I think dancing can be totally perfected and really practiced well, and you can really develop dancing skills. Not same with visuals, but similar to visuals, singing is just kind of something you're born with almost, because you are born with your own voice. And you know, some people have a bit more of a unique tone than others. Some people have more of a clear voice than others. Some people have more higher range, something like that. It's just kind of what you're born with. And so singing can be practiced and they can be developed. However, trying to change something that's already kind of yours is difficult. And kind of when I think about it, I feel like there's a lot of more lacking singers in the K-pop industry. Just if you just look at the general K-pop groups, I guess, just any K-pop group, I feel like there are more lacking singers compared to lacking dancers. However, that's just my opinion, and if you think differently, feel free to think differently. And so the last question is, what do you think is the least important category that companies look for? And most people voted for rapping, like about half. That's true, they don't really look for rapping unless you're an outstanding rapper. So yeah, generally it is divided into singing and dancing, and sometimes rapping can be a part of singing if you choose a song with a rap in it. So it kind of combines those two. And the next category that you guys chose for least important is visuals. I would have to disagree with you guys there. Like I said, visuals are important whether you like it or not. And that's not really my opinion, but how society views K-pop idols, celebrities in general. Sorry to break it to you, but I think you should have already known this. So with that very bad conclusion, if you guys have any other topics you would like me to cover in these like little poll style kind of things, where I collect your responses and also give my opinion on it, then feel free to comment some ideas down below so that I can do this in the future as well. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here. Comment down this emoji if you made it till here. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye! What am I doing? Bye! Oh my god, it's just not my day today. You can see my ring light that I do not use, and there's tape on it because, actually, should I tell this to you guys? Okay, it's a little embarrassing, but I put tape on this, so like, because this is my bed, right? So when I wake up, I put, or before I go to sleep, I put a piece of paper and stick it onto here, like saying like, write your essay, shower, and then when I wake up, I look up and see that text, and I'm like, oh, I should shower, I should write my essay, and then I wake up. That's how I wake up at 6 a.m. every day. I know, hacks. This is kind of weird. It's like I have, what are those things? The angel things. This is so random. Am I okay? I don't know. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!